Good morning, friends. Myself Ashutosh Nikode, and today we will learn about dot product and cross product of vectors. So we are all familiar with the product, means product of two numbers, or product of two elements, or so on. But here we will see what is the product of two vectors. Means in the vector we use generally dot product and cross product. Okay. So what is dot product and what is cross product? We will see the properties and their application in this video lecture. Okay. So let us see what is dot product. Dot product of two vectors. Okay, if I have two vectors, a vector and b vector, then their dot product means there are two vectors, means they have magnitude and they have direction. Okay, so if I consider two vectors in a plane, so there are two possibilities. Means if the vectors are intersecting each other at some point, they are intersecting, or they are parallel lines, so their angle between two vectors are zero. Okay, so we just consider their two vectors are intersecting each other and their angle is theta. If theta is zero, that means they are parallel. If theta is 90, they are perpendicular. If theta is 180, they are in opposite direction, and so on. We just consider this first case. Okay, so if I have two vectors a and b, and my angle between two vectors is theta, then a dot b vector is can be written as mod of a vector mod of b vector into cos theta. Okay, cos theta, where theta is my angle between two vectors. Mod A, if I have the A vector, then we can calculate mod A. If I have B vector, then we can calculate mod B and cos theta. So this is magnitude, and cos theta is also a scalar number. So this complete quantity is a scalar number, means it only has magnitude. So we can say that it dot product of two vectors, which will give us a scalar quantity. Okay, that's why it's called as scalar product also. So this is my main formula for dot product. Mod of A, mod of B, cos theta, and theta is the angle between two vectors. Okay. So suppose we have two vectors, means A vector is like that, A1 I cap plus B1 J cap plus C1 K cap, and my B vector is that uh, A2 I cap plus B2 J cap plus C2 K cap. Then how can we calculate mod of A, mod of B, cos theta? Mod A is simply mod A is equal to root under A1 square, B1 square plus C1 square. Similarly, you can calculate mod B, A2 square, B2 square plus C2 square. And A dot B, here cos theta is the angle between two vectors. If the angle is given, then we can find the dot product in this way, mod A, mod B, cos theta. If the coefficient of ijk are given, here if it's like this, then we can calculate mod, means dot product A dot B as A1 A2 plus B1 B2 plus C1 C. See, if theta is given, then mod A mod B cos theta, we will get A dot B. If theta is not given, then A and B are vectors are given, then we can find the dot product as A1 A2. Just multiply the coefficient of ijk with each other, A1 A2 plus B1 B2 plus C1 C2, and we will get the dot product of two vectors. Okay, so let us see some properties of dot products. My first property is that dot product is commutative. Means A dot B is equal to B dot A. Obviously, A dot B is A1 A2 plus B1 B2 plus C1 C2, and B dot A, what we will get? It's A2 A1 plus B2 B1 plus C2 C1. Okay, these are scalar quantities, and A1 A2 is equal to A2 A1, so both are equal. Okay, this is my first property. Second, it is a distributive. It is distributive, or means it satisfies the distributive property. Means if I have vectors like A dot B plus C, can be written as A dot B plus A dot C. Okay. My third property is that mod of A plus B square can be written as mod of A square plus mod of B square plus 2A dot B. Okay. And mod of A minus B square can be written as mod of A square plus mod of B square minus 2A dot B. Okay. Means I have to find the mod of A plus B square. Means two vectors are given and their addition and their square. We have to calculate it simply mod A square, mod B square plus 2 A dot B. A dot B is a scalar quantity. Scalar, scalar, scalar. So A mod square will give us a scalar value. Okay. Similarly, A minus B mod A minus B square, this formula is given. Okay. These are some few properties is there. And fourth one is related to the angle. Means we know that if I have two vectors like this, A vector and B vector, and their angle is theta, So there are three possible cases, generally three possible cases. If my theta is theta, means if theta is there, then simply my cos theta is equal to A dot B by mod of A into mod of B. Okay, we know this formula already. But what happens with if theta is 0 degree? If theta is 0 degree, then cos 0 is 1. So A dot B equal to mod of A into mod of B. If my dot product is 0, means this is theta equal to 0, and if theta is equal to 90 degree, theta is 90 degree means cos 90 is 0. So my A dot B vector is 0. Means simply cos 90 is 0, then whole term is 0. So my dot product of two vector is 0. Means if my dot product is 0, then we can say that fourth property is that if A dot B is 0, then we can say that A vector is perpendicular to B vector because angle is 90 degree. Okay, and this is vice versa. That means if two vectors are perpendicular to each other, then their dot product is equal to 0. Okay, so these are some few properties of dot product. Next, we will see the application, means how we can apply or what are the application in mathematics of dot product. Okay, so the first application is that projection, which is scalar projection and vector projection. Let us see. So projection means if I have two vectors, suppose this is my B vector, this is my A vector. So we have to find its scalar projection. This is so I have to find scalar projection, scalar projection of A vector on B vector. Means we have to find this length. We have to find this length. So these two vectors are there. This theta is given. So in the right angle triangle, this is my perpendicular. So right angle triangle. So this length is, this is my mod A. Okay. So this length is, we can write it as mod A cos theta. This length, suppose this is OA. So OA is mod A cos theta. And we know that already my cos theta is A vector dot B vector divided by mod A vector dot mod B vector. Okay. So just put here. So this is my projection value. Projection of A vector on B, which is equal to mod of A into cos theta, and mod of A as it is, and we know that the value of cos theta here, A vector dot B vector divided by mod of A vector into mod of B vector. So mod of A get cancelled, and we will get mod of A, A vector dot B vector by mod B vector, or you can write as A vector dot B cap. B vector divided by their mod means we will get the unit vector along the B direction. Okay, so you can write in this way also. So this is my projection. This is my why we called it as a scalar projection, because A dot B, which gives a scalar, and mod B is also scalar quantity. That's why we will get this is my the scalar projection. But if in the question we have to find the vector projection of A vector on B vector, then simply this is my scalar projection. So we have to just find its direction. This direction is along B vector. So any vector, we have to find any vector along B vector. So how we can find? Just multiply the scalar quantity with its unit vector. Means we have to just multiply this projection with the unit vector. So this is my scalar projection. Okay. So how we calculate the vector projection? Simply just multiply A vector dot B vector by mod of B vector as it is. Simply just multiply this scalar into unit vector of B. Means B vector dot mod of B vector. So in this way you can find the vector projection of A vector of B vector. Okay. And one more thing is there. This is my how to calculate the projection, scalar projection and vector projection. One more thing is there. If I have two vectors, means if I have two unit vectors, we know that in x-axis we have I cap is my unit vector, and y-axis j cap is my unit vector. So in opposite of x-axis it is minus I cap, this is minus j cap. So I dot I means two unit vector along x-axis. How can calculate? So simply as mod of I cap into mod of I cap divided by cos theta, and my cos theta is equal to 0 degree. Why? Because I cap and I cap is on the same line. That's why the angle between two is 0 degree. So cos 0 is 1, and mod of I is 1, mod of j is 1. Simply I dot I cap is equal to 1. Similarly, j dot j equal to 1, and similarly k cap dot k cap is equal to 1. And if my two vectors, if I have to calculate, means if I have to calculate I cap into minus of I cap, means I cap into minus of I cap, so angle between these two vectors are 180 degree. So that's why mod of I cap into mod of minus I cap into cos theta is my 180 degree, cos 180 is minus 1. So it's 1 dot 1 into minus 1. So we will get minus 1. Means in this way, j dot minus j cap, which is equal to minus 1, and k dot minus k cap, which is equal to minus 1. We have to just find the angle between two vectors and we will solve the dot product of two vectors. Okay. Now we will see about what is cross product of two vectors. Okay. So how we can calculate the cross product of two vectors? Means if I have two vectors like this, a vector is there, b vector is there, theta is angle there, then there are two conditions. If theta is given and when the vectors is actually given, means my a vector is, if my a vector is given like that, a1 I cap plus a2 j cap plus a3 k cap, and b vector is given as b1 I cap plus b2 j cap plus b3 k cap. Okay, so if angle is there, theta is given, so how we can calculate a cross b? See, now a cross b, cross product of two vectors, which gives us a vector quantity. Means magnitude is there and there is a unique direction is also there. Means a cross b, which formula is that mod of a mod of b into sine theta. In dot product, we will use mod of a mod of b cos theta, but in cross product, sine theta is there, into n cap. What is n cap? This term a mod b and sine theta, this is scalar quantity, and n cap is a unit vector. So this n cap gives us a direction, and this values gives us the magnitude of a cross b vector. Okay, so this is my formula. And what is the value of n cap? This is very important. N cap gives us the direction of a cross b. This is very important. If two vectors a and b are two vectors are is in a plane, then the value of a cross b is perpendicular to this plane. Means this n cap shows that the perpendicular direction. So my value of n cap is a cross b divided by mod of a cross b. Okay, means this can be found using the right hand rule. Means I have to find a cross b. See, direction is the, if only magnitude is there, so a cross b and b cross a will be equal. Means mod of a cross b and mod of b cross a, which both are equal. But a cross b is not equal to b cross a. In magnitude terms, A cross B and B cross A both are equal, but in the direction, because A cross B and B cross A both are different direction. A cross B, this direction we can find using the right hand rule. Means I have to find A, then cross B. Means just it is called as right hand rule. Just consider A right hand along the vector, and we have to find A cross B. A cross B. Then my thumb shows towards this direction, means perpendicular this look like this. So I consider the n cap. This direction is there. If I have to find the value of b cross a, then just consider right hand over b. Then we have to find b cross a, means look like this. Then my thumb towards this. Okay, that means if a cross b is there, then b cross a, that my direction is just opposite. Means a cross b and b cross a, these two are just opposite vectors. Means a cross b is minus of b cross a. A cross B direction is towards this, then B cross C direction is towards this, like this. Okay, so this is the very important point. And if when theta is given, then you can calculate the cross product like this. But if my vectors are given, directly vectors are given, then how we can calculate the cross product? Then A cross B, which is equal to determinant of ijk are the unit vector along xy set. Then A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3. Then this determinant gives us the value of A cross B. Clearly, it is a vector quantity, so it has some magnitude and it has some direction. So let's see the few properties of cross product. Okay. So my first property is that A cross B is minus of B cross A. Clearly, A cross B direction is here, then B cross C direction is here, just opposite. This is my direction of A cross B, then this is my direction of B cross C. Just they are opposite to each other. That's why minus sign is there. Okay, this is my first property. Second property is that the magnitude of both the terms means A cross B, it is equal to B cross A. Magnitude wise, both are equal, but direction wise, they are just opposite to each other. Okay. The second property is that distributive law means distributive property holds there means A cross B plus C, which is equal to A cross B plus A cross C. Okay. My third property is that I cross I, J cross J, K cross K. These are my unit vectors along I, J, K. You know that X, Y, Z, you know that unit vectors along X, Y, and Z, Z axis. So, what is the value of I cross I? What is the formula of cross product? Mod of I, mod of J, sorry, mod I, mod I into sine theta, I cross I. The both are in the same line. That's why angle is 0 degree. Sine 0 into n cap. So how we can find the n cap here? N cap is shows the direction. Well, it's not required here because sine 0 is 0. That's why the I cross I is always 0. Similarly, j cross j is 0 and k cross k is 0 because angle is 0. So sine 0 is 0. But I cross j, if I have to find value of I cross j, then mod of I cap, mod of j cap into sine theta. So here the angle between I cap and j cap is 90 degrees. See here, this is my I cap, this is my j cap, this is my k cap, coordinate axis. So angle between I and j cap is 90 degree, I and j cap is 90 degree, and so on. So angle is 90 degrees, so I have to return sine 90 here and dot n cap. So which vector, which unit vector is perpendicular to I and j? I and j perpendicular is k cap. So my direction is k cap. Means we have to just replace n cap as a k cap. Mod of I is 1, mod of j is 1, sine 90 is 1, and in the place of n cap we have to write k cap. So we will get k cap. Means I cross j will gives us k cap. Okay, similarly you can find j cross I, j cross k, and so on. You have to just find the angle between two vectors and which vector, which unit vector is perpendicular to I and j. That is very important. Always remember if two vectors are there, A cross A and B vector, then their cross product which gives us your perpendicular vector, which gives us the perpendicular vector to both of the vector A and B. This is very important. We have to use many times this property in the question. So this is my third property. Uh, fourth property is that it's my Lagrange's identity. Fourth property is Lagrange's identity. Many times we will use this identity, so you have to remember this. Next, we will see the applications of cross product. These are the properties, the basic properties of cross product. And next, we will see the application of cross product. Means what geometrically what it means. Cross product geometrically what shows us. Okay. Next, we will see the application part. First is my area of parallelogram. Area of parallelogram. My A cross B, mod of A cross B, which gives us the area of parallelogram. So how we can prove that? This is my parallelogram. This is my A vector and this is my, suppose this is my B vector, and angle between two vectors is theta. Then my perpendicular height is mod B cos theta, mod B sin theta, sorry. You can just use the Pythagoras theorem here. So my sin theta is equal to opposite side upon hypotenuse. Opposite side is my height is, and divided by the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse will be mod B vector. So my height will become equal to mod B vector into sin theta. Okay. So my height is mod B vector into sin theta. So what is the area of parallelogram? Height into base. Okay. So my area of parallelogram is simply height into base. My height is mod B sin theta and my base will be mod A. So this is my mod A. So that we will give mod A, mod B sin theta, and it's nothing but what? It is a mod of A cross B vector. Okay. So the cross product of two vectors. Here I have to write small a and small b. So the cross product, the magnitude of cross product of two vectors, which gives us the area of parallelogram. Okay, this is my first property. Similarly, you can show that the area of triangle. Second application is that area of triangle. Area of triangle is nothing but what the half of the magnitude of A cross B. You can easily prove this also. This is my A vector. This is my B vector. Then height will be mod B sine theta. Then the formula of area of triangle is half into base into height. So half into base is mod A and height is mod B sine theta. So half into mod A mod B sine theta, which gives us mod of A cross B. So in this way, the area of triangle is equal to the half of A cross B, and my area of parallelogram is half of means parallelogram is cross product of A cross B. These are two applications, and also we will see that the area of means sometimes in the question they gives us the diagonal of the parallelogram. So how we can calculate? My third application is that area of parallelogram, but if I have just given the diagonals of parallelogram, means my A vector is there, my B vector is there, and they gives us the diagonals of the parallelogram. And what is the formula of area? Formula of area is half into d1 cross d2. How we can prove that? See, my d1 vector, according to the triangle law, this b vector is parallel to this line because it's a parallelogram. So I can write this vector as a b vector also. So a vector plus b vector, which gives us the d1 vector according to triangle law. This plus this will, which gives us this d1 vector, and in this small triangle, this a vector and d vector, which gives us b vector. That means a vector plus d2 vector, which gives us b vector, implies that my d2 vector is b vector minus a vector. So we will get a value of a d1 vector and d2 vector. So what is my formula of area of parallelogram? My formula is a cross b. Simply formula is a cross b. So my formula is half into d1 cross d2. So half into d1. What is the value of d1? A vector plus b vector cross b vector minus a vector. Okay, so half. Just separate this bracket. We will get a vector cross b vector plus a vector. Sorry, here minus is there. Minus a vector into cross a vector plus b vector cross b vector minus b vector cross a vector. Okay. Next here you can see that a cross a and b cross b will be 0 because a cross a means mod a sine theta is angle between two vectors, theta is angle between two vectors, and a cross a means angle is 0 degree. So sine 0 0, and here also angle is 0 degree. That's why a cross a and b cross b are 0. The cross product between two similar vectors means a and a, b and b, and c and c. So cross product is which is equal to 0. Okay, so we will left with half of a cross B minus B cross A, and we know that according to the computer law, A cross B is minus of B cross A, so we can write here A cross B plus A cross B. I can write B cross A as minus of A cross B, so minus minus plus. So we have half into 2 times of A cross B, and 2 will get cancelled. This is my A cross B, and we know that A cross B is the area of parallelogram. So in this way, you can prove that the area of parallelogram is cross product or magnitude of cross product across B. And also, if the diagonals are given, then you can find as half into d1 cross d2. So in this video lecture, we will cover the dot product, their properties and their application in which we see the projection, scalar projection and vector projection of any vector upon the another vector. And then we will see what is the cross product, how we can calculate a cross product, then properties, and then application means how to find the area of triangle if the two vectors are given, and how to find the area of parallelogram if two vectors are given with the help of cross product. Thank you.